Hey, what's up ladies and gents, SpoonyPizzas here, bringing you a Player of the Week review for the International Cup, November the 28th, 2022. So let's start off with Jude Bellingham, shall we? So obviously he's a central midfielder for England. He can play on the left-hand side. He can play also the attacking midfield role. And if we just look at his sort of overall game here, he's a very nicely rounded player. But in my opinion, I think you can generally pick up better midfielders now. He's very well rounded across the board, so he doesn't really specialize in anything, but he's like a jack of all trades. In terms of his player skills, double touch is nice to have, as is first time shot, one touch passing, interception. So like I said, he's got pretty much everything. He can pass the ball, he can, do some defensive work as well with the track back and the interception. He can obviously have a shot on goal with his rising shot and first time shot ability. And he's also got some skills in his locker, which are very nice as well. The double touch mainly, in my opinion, and also the sole control, which is good for finesse dribbling. Christensen, so he is a centre back for Denmark, and he is actually pretty good. He's 188 centimeters in height, so he's fairly tall for a defender. He's got good low passing ability, so he's good at playing from the back. He's got excellent defensive engagement and defensive awareness. He's got my preferred build-up style, so that's really good to have as well. He's got 80 for physical contact, that's decent. He's not exactly slow either. He's got 79 for speed, 72 for acceleration. Probably one of the more surprising players that I would not expect to be this good. Interceptions, slide tackle, man marking are nice to have. Would have been great if he had a blocker and maybe aerial superiority, or acrobatic clearance. Those are sort of missing from his player skills, but overall a very, very solid centre back. Lukey Shaw obviously plays for left back, Manchester United and England, and he is good at lofted passing, which is great, obviously from an offensive point of view. His curling is a little bit low at 83 in my personal opinion. I'd like to see that much higher, along with the kicking power. Kicking power and curling ability and lofted pass all sort of link in when you're looking at fullbacks. Those are the sort of the three key stats when you're looking from an offensive point of view. But Luke Shaw can do the defensive side of things as well. With defensive engagement 79 is pretty good. Aggression 85, so he's going to be able to press the ball very well. His balance and stamina are pretty good as well. And he's not exactly slow, so not a bad left back to have. But one of the things that this left back has that many left backs don't have, he has interception and blocker, as well as slide tackle and fighting spirit. Fighting spirit means he's going to tire slower, and pinpoint crossing and through passing. Really nice to have. So really good from an offensive and defensive point of view. Olivier Giroud, so he's the target man for France, 193 centimeters tall, and I do love the odds tall striker in my side, so I would not be opposed to having someone a little bit different to Mbappe. I have got Ivan Toney, I have got Harry Kane now on my side, so hard to actually oust those, but I think from a heading point of view, Giroud is much stronger. He's really tall. His heading's a 93. Offensive awareness is really good at 84. He's not exactly very mobile, which I like about Ivan Toney, but 68 speed, 66 acceleration is not the greatest. His jumping and physical contact, however, are really, really good. His balance is a little low, so he could get knocked off the ball a little bit easily when sort of, bringing the ball into play. But what I would say about that is, that's not his game. His game is to basically get the ball, play it to a nearby player, get out to your wide players, and then cross the ball into him, and he should be waiting in the box. The only thing I would say is that the fox in the box role, which Ivan Toney has, is much better than target man, in my opinion, for getting on the end of crosses. Let's just take a look at his player skills. Heading is absolutely vital. Aerial superiority, those are the two I'm sort of looking for first. Acrobatic finishing is next. So we're looking at sort of all the things that are tied to crosses. And then he's got the ability to one-touch pass, which means he's going to be able to lay the ball off very quickly. And he's got super sub, so a nice alternative to bring on, perhaps if Mbappe's not working for me. Noppert, the goalkeeper, 4 stars. To be honest, I couldn't recommend this goalkeeper. There's so many better goalkeepers like that. Keylor Navas would be one that I would recommend for the sort of same sort of price range, but his goalkeeping awareness and reflexes are much better, and you can level that someone like Keylor Navas. So yeah. And he's only got the goalkeeper high punt player skill. Preciado, offensive fullback. So he's very, very quick, good acceleration, good speed, good stamina, good dribbling ability. So he's great at getting up and back. But in terms of his end product, really, really poor. His lofted pass, 71. I can't really recommend this guy. We'll take a look at his player skills, but interception, pinpoint crossing, one-touch pass. So very quick at getting up and down, quick travelling with the ball, great stamina, but not really a player I could recommend. Saka. Now, I just cannot get a tune out of this guy. I've got him in my side right now for England. And to be honest, I know a lot of players really like this guy, but he's just not for me. He just seems to turn so slowly. But in terms of his stats here, we're looking at the stats. They are going to be different to how I've leveled him up, the actual base card. But good acceleration, good speed, good dribbling. So he's going to be very fast at traveling with the ball, which is great. But when it comes to turning, 83 tight possession is a little bit low. Receiving the ball, he's absolutely fine. 85 for ball control, that's absolutely fine. His lofted passing and curling ability aren't too bad for crossing as well. So he does give that crossing option. And he's very sort of diverse. He can play left back, left midfield, left wing forward, right wing forward, and right midfield. So lots of areas of the field he can cover. So he is very good at being like a utility player. Looking at his player skills, first time shot, one touch passing, track back, it's sort of offensive and defensive minded as well. So a decent player that, but I think, there are better wingers, in my opinion, that you could actually pick up for GP. Antoine Griezmann. Now, this player is very, very nice. He's looking really good here. Attacking midfielder, great acceleration, speed disparity. Love that. But look at that ball control, 93. He's going to be able to operate in that attacking midfield area very, very nicely, whether it's attack midfield or support striker. I think that's where he's going to be best suited, in those tight little spaces, because that ball control, he's going to be able to control the ball very quickly. He's got good tight possession, means he's going to be able to manipulate the ball very easily. That's way above what his acceleration and speed's at, which is good. And then looking at his finishing, 81, that's decent. I would like it to be higher if you want him to be more prolific, but as long as it's over 80, I find like you can score fairly frequently. And his curling ability, 84, which is also very, very good. Double touch, sombrero. I love sombrero. Really good for like pulling tricks out of the hat and tricking people into thinking that, what's he going to do next with a little flick over the shoulder. First time shot, through passing, pinpoint crossing, all good to have as well. The only thing I would say he lacks is one touch passing, which is a bit disappointing, certainly in that sort of attack midfield role. But he has got through passing, so that does count for something. And he has got super sub, so you could bring him off the bench, which would be pretty handy as well. Rabiot, so he's not having a bad tournament, to be fair. And you can see why. He's player of the week. So looking at his kicking power, that's very nice for a midfielder if you want to take long range shots. But he can, again, he's very much like Jude Bellingham. He can do the defensive side of things and he can do the offensive side of things as well. But he's like a jack of all trades, not really a specialist in either. I personally like to have specialists. I like my attacking midfielders to be more attacking midfield minded, and then my defensive midfielders be more defensive midfield minded. Sorry. What I would say is that if you're going to play sort of defensive midfielders and central midfielders that are going to do box to box sort of work, which the player has, then these players are ideal where they're sort of balanced. Him alongside Jude Bellingham, for example, where they can do both. One can sit, one can go forward, the other one can sit, and this one go forward, and they can alternate like that. So yeah. In that regard, they would be very, very nicely together, but I prefer just to have players being specialists, very, very specialists in what they're actually trying to do with the ball. Let's just take a look at his player skills. So one-touch passing, through passing, weighted passing, low lofted passing, great to have from an offensive point of view. Defensively, interception, aerial superiority, because he is quite tall, 188 centimeters tall. Good for winning those sort of kicks down the field in midfield. So yeah, a very, very nicely rounded player. Again, pretty good. Talby. And for me, this is a player I can't really recommend. His defensive engagement's too low. His defensive awareness is decent though, but we take a look at his player skills: interception, blocker, aerial superiority, slide and tackle, man marking, all good to have, and acrobatic clearance. So in terms of his player skills, perfect. But in terms of his defensive awareness, a little bit too low for the best strikers in the world that you're going to come up against. And then finally, Weah for the USA, right wing forward. He's pretty quick, but again, doesn't have a lot of end product. 79 for finishing isn't bad, but that's all he's going to be able to do. Look at his lofted passing, 71. He's not going to be specialised in crossing. He's going to be one of these players that you just get the ball, run down the wing, cut back and pass it backwards. In terms of his player skills, he hasn't got much really there that sort of excites me. First time shot maybe, but no one touch passing, no double touch, no flip flap, nothing really to sort of wow me. No Marseille turn. He's got soul control, so that is good for, like I said, finish dribbling, but other than that, not really a player I could recommend. If I was to pick the 3 top players out of this pack, for me personally, I would like Giroud, I would like Griezmann, and I would probably lean towards Christensen or Shaw. Depends who I needed, depends what sort of area of the pitch you're looking to strengthen. If I had to choose like a left back, it would be Luke Shaw, but if I wanted a centre back, then I would opt for Christensen. But those are probably my top sort of 3 or 4 picks out of this pack. Anyway, let me know who you get in this pack, if you are going to go for any of these players. But yeah, be interesting to see what you guys have to say. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.